TheBossOfMSF, and with just a few days before the release of the Resident Evil 2 remake, I thought I'd share my initial thoughts from the demo. I had originally planned on doing a live stream of this, but since the demo was limited to only 30 minutes, I thought I'd play through it on my own in case anything went wrong, and thankfully nothing did. So let's dive in. The first thing that I'll talk about are the graphics. They're an obvious upgrade from my days back on the original PlayStation. The lighting is nicely done, and it makes you utilize your equipment and rely on things like your flashlight in order to progress from room to room. There is a great attention to detail as far as the environment goes, including the objects that you interact with and the ones that you don't. Unlike back in the day when you could easily tell which window a zombie was going to pop out from, this is incredibly toned down, and it really helps to build that element of suspense. Now, while the lighting and environment look great, the main cast could have been given some more attention. And yes, I say main cast because Hunk and Tofu still look pretty good. Not that they look that great on the original, but they've done a pretty good job in updating them, so I'm going to go ahead and leave them out of this. But for the main cast though, I guess that the developers are really pushing for that I'm just a normal person, here out of my element, and super green factor. Then again, I only got to play 30 minutes of Leon's campaign, and that feeling could change later on, or as you change characters, but as far as their appearance goes, I'm gonna go ahead and give that about a sugar cookie on my cookie scale. And all that really means is, yeah, it's a sugar cookie, so obviously it's good, and it's a cookie, so you're getting what you want. But it's not the best, and you really could have done better by adding some love and some chocolate chips to that batter. But I digress. With that said, the gameplay itself is actually really exciting. It starts off slow, but it succeeds in the fact that it reminds me of the older Resident Evil games. I'll come back to all of the nostalgia stuff in a bit, but for now let's stick to the gameplay. Unlike modern zombie games, including the later Resident Evil games like 5 and 6, this game does a really good job of making you feel like what is happening is actually dangerous and terrifying. In modern games, you can get a headshot on a zombie and you're done. It's your kill shot, you move on, collect your dash, and it's time for dinner. This game, like the original, not so much. It might take a couple of headshots and or chest shots to have a zombie go down. Even a blast from a shotgun isn't enough to make these guys go down, and again, that adds a great level of tension in the heat of the moment. In other zombie games, you can feel like you're invincible by using things like an assault rifle or a portable mower to demolish your enemies. This game makes you feel like you are absolutely out of your element, and it forces you to use what's at your disposal to survive. Items actually feel like they're finite in this world, and you have to ration out your herbs and bullets in order to survive. This game makes something as crucial as ammo feel as though it's a luxurious item because, you have such a small inventory and it consists of only 8 slots, and you have to really think about what moves you're going to make. Now, that might seem like a small detail, but if you're like me and you've played a ton of other zombie games in recent years, let me tell you, those games have spoiled us, and this one knocks us right down and takes us back to our roots where survival isn't about how many bullets are in your magazine, but instead focuses on how strategic you can really be. Again, this might change, and I really hope that it does if there's something like a Magnum later on, but for now, it really does feel like there's an actual threat to this city. So finally, there's the nostalgia factor. There are so many amazing things about this game that just made me giggle with excitement as I was playing. There were numerous moments where I remembered playing the original with my brother and just the silly things that we do. I won't get into them, but side note, yes, I was waiting for a liquor to pop out at me the entire time that I was playing. But anyway, the best way for me to describe this game is that it feels like I'm walking through a Resident Evil time warp. There are moments where I'm looking at my inventory and it feels like no time has passed, and the only difference is that the graphics have been updated and things just look better. There are moments where I'm moving around and I immediately start thinking about a moment in Resident Evil 4 or 6. Elements like a typewriter in the loading screen, or one that's sitting on a desk, or an item box that I haven't seen in ages are no longer Easter eggs, and it feels so surreal. Fans of the old PlayStation version, fans that have continued to play the other installments, and I think even newcomers to the franchise would have a great time playing this. It definitely feels like a classic Resident Evil remake that fans have been wanting, but with a really nice modern twist. The movements don't feel static anymore. It's harder to pinpoint which zombie's gonna suddenly come back to life and when. It's really great to finally feel like there's something dangerous around the corner again. You know, the demo is still available, so if you're still on the fence, I highly recommend clearing a half an hour and giving it a shot. I've already pre-ordered my copy, and I can't wait to get into it for real. I hope that you guys enjoy this video and decide to give it a try. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, and if you enjoyed the music that you heard in this video, please check out my friends over at Call for Beats, SB Tracks, and of course, E Cannon himself. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a lovely duration of time.